Hi YouTubers, Jeff Cote here with Ask PYS. So we've got a question here from a fellow boater, and he asks, Jeff, where does the idea that the alternator fuse should be at least 1.25 times the alternator output? Good question. I've seen this before, right? And this is important. When you're fusing a wire, especially a charger, an alternator, for instance, or solar, you want to make sure that you never have nuisance tripping. So if your alternator, for example, is outputting 100 amps, right? It's a 100 amp alternator. Are you going to put a 100 amp fuse on there? Because remember, a 100 amp fuse means it can tolerate 100 amps, but you normally don't want to ever size a fuse for maximum rated amperage and expect it to run there. It's like, for example, our cars might be able to rev up to 6,000 RPM, but we're not redlining our cars. Same thing with, for example, shore power. A shore power breaker might be 30 amps, but you should not be running your shore power at maximum amperage at 30 amps all the time. It allows you to go to 30, but you know, if you're close to always being at the max, you might get nuisance tripping. And if you have nuisance tripping on your alternator, you're not just blowing the fuse, you're blowing up the alternator. So when I'm sizing a wire that is connected to an alternator, I'm fusing that alternator, what do I want to do? I want to make sure that that alternator will never ever accidentally trip that fuse. Because if it does, I don't only learn the fuse, but I'm also losing the alternator. So what we do is we do a ratio of 1.25. So if I've got a 100 amp alternator, I'm going to make sure that the wire can handle 125 amps, no problem. And I'm also going to put a fuse that is rated for 125 amps. Therefore, I am preparing or preventing the alternator from ever blowing up that fuse. I am now also running an alternator less than the maximum amperage that the fuse and the wire can handle. So well beyond or within the capabilities of that wire and that fuse. And then I never get nuisance tripping. So that is the logic behind fusing an alternator, but same thing for battery charger and solar. You always want to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room so that you don't have nuisance tripping. Thank you for watching this PYS video. If you've got further questions, ask them down below or go on our website to fill one of the forms. Also, support to keep this YouTube channel ad-free by donating on PayPal or purchasing some merchandise on our store. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.